Hey everybody, John Huber here from Maryland K-12. I'm going to do a little incident analysis today. It's one of the things I want to get into. I did a presentation in Las Vegas on, SRO, relationships between SROs and administrators. And there's this incident out in Tennessee, I think it was, and a kid ends up getting arrested. And it's amazing, when I part of the presentation, I analyzed this incident with some folks, and it was amazing to see their response. A lot, the audience was primarily SROs, few administrators, few teacher, behavior manager types, and I was really kind of surprised to hear most of them go, "Oh, hey, everything, the kid was all in the wrong. It was all the kid's fault, and the kid should have not been arrested. But it's his fault, and so be it." I'm not so sure I agree with that in this incident. This incident is a microcosm of what's wrong when we talk about relationships with schools and SROs, and there's a lot going on in here. So I'm going to kind of tear it apart. I hope I don't go on too long, but I think it's really interesting if you're interested in this kind of stuff. If you're interested in developing relationships with your school SRO and the administration and preventing situations like that, I'll have some thoughts on it. So anyway, let's take a look at this video. It's on YouTube. It's out there. It's in the public domain. So, I blurred the faces out just because I just prefer to do that. But anyway, let's take a look and see what happens. Essentially, in a nutshell, kids in phys ed, and they're playing kickball. It's a high school kid. It's a black kid, white teacher. They're in high school, and they're playing kickball, and the kid says, "I don't feel good. I don't want to play." So he says, "Fine, go over and sit on the bleachers," right? And we've all been there. So the kid goes over, sits on the bleachers. As the class goes on, for whatever reason, they have free time or whatever, and they decide they're going to start playing basketball. Now, all of a sudden, the kid feels better, right? And he comes down, the teacher says, "You can't do that." And then it's, get out of my face, who you talking to? You came at me, I came at you, whatever. So then they call the SRO, and the SRO comes in, which I'm not sure why they called the SRO. But anyway, that's kind of the crux of what's going on. Let's take a look, and what you're going to see is you're going to see the whole thing unfold, and then I'll stop it from time to time and put in some commentary. I'll try not to go too long, but it's really interesting, so take a look.
What happened? We're playing kickball game. He wouldn't play. So as soon as the basketball's coming out, he comes out here and wants to play basketball. So I come up to him. I'm like, "You said you were sick." He said, "Don't approach me like that." I said, "I'm a teacher. I can approach you how I want."
Did you hear that? He said, "Don't approach me like that." He said, "I'm the teacher. I can approach you however I want to." Maybe not. But anyway.
I didn't do it disrespectfully. I just asked him a question. And then I try to go over here. He goes over here, and I try to walk him outside to get him one-on-one. And he's at the basketball, and it comes to me, and I grab the basketball.
I grab the basketball.
He bucks on me and comes at me into my face. And he won't talk to me. And he says, "You're a racist, and I'll kick your quote." You can ask Katie. I ain't put up that shit.
Then he calls me a racist, and he bucks at me, et cetera, et cetera. I ain't putting up with that shit. Okay.
But I want to have a conversation in front of you with him.
Did you hear that? I want to have a conversation in front of you with him. Does he really want to have a conversation? Probably not. He probably wants to go over there and give him a piece of his mind, and the guy with the gun and the badge standing there next to him. Anyway, the guy on the right here in the right shirt, he'll be in this. He's the administrator. He doesn't say anything the entire time. The other guy that's in there that tries to calm things down, he apparently, I think, is the counselor. So let's watch what happens.
Bumped up against me like that.
As a teacher, you didn't play our organized game.
So this argument goes on back and forth for a long time. It's an hour. I just cut a bunch of it out, and it starts to get heated.
Don't come at me like that. I'm asking you a question. I'm not coming at you. If I came at you, you know it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm 50 years old.
Did you hear that? I wasn't coming at you. If I came at you, you would know it, but I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Basketball don't matter about no kickball. It don't got nothing to do with none of that. I said I was feeling sick. If I'm feeling sick, I'm gonna be up there on the bleachers. Where did you not understanding that? When I'm feeling myself, I'm gonna come down. Where did you not understanding that?
Lower your voice.
Now, what's happening here is the kid was called out because he said he was sick, and he wasn't sick. We all know that. I mean, probably not sick. Because they were playing kickball. They don't want to play kickball. All right, now the basketball's come out. Now he wants to play basketball. He's suddenly better. Everybody knows it. He was called out on it, and he just won't come clean, and now he's digging in deeper.
I'm just excusing myself. Anything else you want to come from? If you want to talk to
right now.
anybody, I got a lawyer, anything, but you're not finna come to me no type of way and disrespect me.
Hold on.
Bro, get your hands off me.
And then here it comes. Get your hands off me. And you know where this is going.
Hold on.
Bro, get your hands off me.
Hold on.
Get your hands off me.
I said hold on.
You got 5 seconds to get your
What
hands
the
off
fuck are you gonna do? I'm giving you a lawful order to get up and come on now. All right, man. Take the backpack off. We finna go to jail. Don't resist me, dude. What is it?
He takes him and he arrests him. And he shuffles around, and it goes on forever. His father comes. He ends up getting maced because he wouldn't take the backpack off, etc. There's a lot going on here to unpack. Number one, the teacher picked. I don't know what their procedure is, but they called the SRO. The SRO had absolutely no business being involved in this situation at all. Shouldn't have even been there. He should have just said, hey, what law is being broken? So now they're going to end up dragging this kid out in handcuffs, okay, because he didn't follow a lawful order. Okay, I mean, I'm down for that. I get it. I understand. But why are we putting a kid in this situation? Okay, look at this teacher, and he's saying that the little things behind the scene here, like I want to have a conversation with him in front of you. I wasn't coming at you. If I was going to come at you, you would know it. These kinds of things. And if you watch the whole thing on YouTube, what you'll see is when the cops up there wrestling around with the kid, the phys ed teacher's just standing there watching, taking it all in. The administrator is standing there. The counselor tried to help a little bit, tried to help the guy out, but the administrator just stand there and did absolutely nothing. Just stood there and watched this whole thing unfold, folks. That is a problem, all right? Administrator, this is something that a school administrator needs to deal with, all right? And I know it's difficult, and it can be challenging, and it can be intimidating sometime when you're in high school. But that's what your job is. You have to deal with this. Now, what could the administrator have done differently? Could have done a lot of things differently. Number one, he could have stopped the SRO at the very beginning and said, all right, officer, thanks for coming in. You're not going to be needed here. There's no law being broken. Even if the kid's refusing to leave, even if the kid's refusing to do whatever, okay? Even if he did call him a racist, even if he did, this is not a life-threatening, this is not an emergency, this is not something that you're going to call. If you're on the street and somebody calls you a racist, are you going to call a police officer? No. So anyway, the administrator then, a very simple tactic, I've done it many times, the teacher, I think his name was Mr. Perry, you say, all right, Mr. Perry, thanks very much, appreciate, I'll help this young man out. You go ahead and take care of the rest of your class right now, and I'll work with him. Right, and then he'll probably take a step back. And you say, no, that's okay. The most important thing is that, he's disrupting your class, right? That's the reason we're here, because he's disrupting your class. You go worry about the rest of the other 29 or 30 kids over there. You deal with them, and I'll help the young man. Then you go talk to the young man. You say, look, man, you kickball, you were sick. All of a sudden now you're better, blah, blah, blah. And then he'll probably dig in with you too, and he's not going to come clean. You say, well, look, why don't we just head on up to my office? We'll see if we can sit there and get it straightened out, and then we'll head on to your next class or whatever. He may or may not come, and ultimately he may get suspended. He may get parent conferences. He may get in-school suspension. Whatever. It's going to get his consequences. But we're not going to stand in front of the gym and stop all of the instruction going on for this video went on for an hour. And meanwhile, this gym teacher's just standing there watching. Right? Doesn't he have a class to teach? Right? Isn't this the most important? Isn't that what it's all about? You're disrupting his class? Anyway, a lot going on. The administrator needs to take charge. The administrator stood there the whole time and watched this thing unfold. Now, this young man, and I don't know this kid. I don't know any of these people. And when you look at it from the isolated view of the police officer. When I brought this to their attention out in my presentation in Las Vegas, they all just went, yeah, it was not a problem. Yeah, it didn't do anything wrong. Well, yes, from an isolated view of the police officer, okay? But from a global view, he shouldn't have been there in the first place. And he should know enough to say, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Assistant Principal, I'm not, good luck with me. If he starts getting violent, throwing things around, give me a call. But in the meantime, I'm going back to my office. So anyway, this is a microcosm of a lot that's going on. Cops are being called for things, and it's slowly starting to turn around. We're slowly starting to see that. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this. I have a few of these in the hopper here and working on to try and take some of these scenarios apart. If you see any other ones out there, give me a shout. Be happy to take a look at them. But anyway, in this one, cop didn't necessarily do anything wrong, but he shouldn't have been there in the first place, and that is causing a problem in education. So anyway, thanks. Have a great day.